Now, if the hill or if the course has some hilly profiles, what that means is that they're on the climbs, they're not going up the climbs as quickly as they could because they're trying to hold an average power. Okay, what we want to be able to do is overpower the climbs. So we'd be holding we'd probably look around that sort of VO2 energy system, around 110 up to 120%, depending on the climb length. Really punch it through that section. Hi guys, Coach Fenz here from FTP Training. We're here at Listerfield Park. We've been doing some time trial work with the Oceania time trial champion, Sean Lake. Welcome, Sean. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Cheers, Fenz. Good to be here.
Fantastic. So, look, what we've been doing is we've been looking at time trial position. We've been working on some different, some different gear for the time trial bike for Sean. But what I wanted to do is just to get Sean's learning curve within his time on the time trial bike with Avanti Racing from when he was riding in his previous teams, because obviously there's been a massive change. You've gone from, when I first looked and started looking and working with you, I knew that the horsepower was there, and we said, right, there's no way you cannot be an absolutely awesome time trialist. So we did a lot of position refinement, didn't we, at the camp, and we sorted lots of stuff out, which was, bringing you up quite a bit, but then getting that shrug and reducing that frontal area. That resulted in winning the Tour of Bright time trial and smashing the record, I think, there.
Yeah.
And then from there, obviously, we've come on to national championships. And I think that, when we went to nationals, there's a lot of stuff that we did with regards to pacing there. Can you sort of talk the guys through, what changes you've had within the way in which you pace a normal time trial?
Yeah, so when I first started with my time trialing stuff, I would just go out to average the highest power I possibly could, and I'd also generally get excited a fair bit in the first 10 minutes or so, and then have a bit of fade throughout the time trial. And I wouldn't really change my pacing strategy that much for a different course or different wind conditions and things like that.
Yeah, fantastic. So in that sense, the reality of it is that if, say, for instance, like Sean holds huge horsepower. There's some bulk watts come out of Sean, that's for sure, okay? So if you're a normal rider and say you're able to hold 300 watts is your functional threshold for an hour, the normal procedure for most riders is they would potentially look at that, see what they can hold for, say, 20 or 30 minutes, and they would come out from the gun and they would try and hold that steady state power for the duration. Now, if the hill or if the course has some hilly profiles, what that means is that they're on the climbs, they're not going up the climbs as quickly as they could because they're trying to hold an average power. Okay, what we want to be able to do is overpower the climbs. So we'd be holding we'd probably look around that sort of VO2 energy system, around 110 up to 120%, depending on the climb length. Really punch it through that section. And then once you've brought it up to speed over the top, be able to then have that little micro recovery, that little recovery, soft tap, maybe get into a more aero position and even stop pedaling. It's hard on the head to do that, isn't it? Because you think you need to be pedaling.
Yeah, it is hard to get your head around that idea, but once you're going that 60 k's an hour, you're going just as fast aero tuck as you would be pedaling, and especially if it's a long time trial, your legs end up a lot better from having that time not pedaling.
Yeah, that's right. So those little recoveries, those little times where you soft pedal, when you're at 60k an hour, you could be putting in bulk watts again and only going 65 kilometers an hour. And the reality of that little section of road, you doing it at 60k an hour, you might save half a second, but you've used a huge amount of energy. So when you're going on the climb, you're only going, say, 25, 30k an hour. Because you're going that much slower, it takes you that much longer to get up the climb. So therefore, that's the time where you want to put more power in, get over the top. Another thing is that over the top power, isn't it? A lot of people, sometimes they just reach the top and slow and take the power off. You've got to bring it back up to speed first. So the climb doesn't finish right at the top. It finishes over the crest of the top. And that's where you put the bulk watts in, get into that aero position, bring it back up to speed, and then you can have those little recoveries. All right, thanks very much, Sean. I'm sure that's some really useful information for any aspiring time trial riders out there to get fitter, faster, stronger, and better out there on the time trial course. Thanks, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you out on the road. Bye-bye.